Reality TV is sleazy, it is manipulative. It is as momentary as anything in popular culture. At least one reason for trying to live lives that make a difference is that by so living, we hope we will not be forgotten by those who benefit from our trying to make a difference. Yet to try to ensure we will not be forgotten too often results in desperate manipulative strategies that are doomed to fail. As we become more codependent with technology, it's not necessarily based on our desire for the technology but our desire for interconnectivity and wanting to stay connected, which is a natural human instinct. The technology itself is kind of emotionally manipulative. Heroine is about a declining and imbalanced superstar, a very brave and bold role. I wanted to test whether I could carry a role like this. I have given 200% to this role. She's a very complex character, very aggressive, manipulative and bold, yet she's very fragile. And I always had this idea for making a movie about a femme fatale, because I like these characters. They're a lot of fun, they're sexy, they're manipulative, they're dangerous. It's a political and manipulative industry. Actors vie for the same roles, movies are snatched away. Have I ever been manipulated? Yes. But I haven't manipulated anyone because if you think from the heart, you cannot be calculative. I have spent nights crying. It's a controlling thing on stage, you're directing the action, getting people to play their role. In real life, I take being kind and nice seriously, so the last thing I'd ever want to be is that weird, controlling, manipulative character. A friend once told me that I was always so manipulative, a silver-tongued devil, as he put it. I was never aware of it. Lisa Vanderpump is a manipulative person and when I was on the show I did a lot of her dirty work for her. I don't want to throw mud at anyone, I really admire Gandhi as a brilliant strategist, but Gandhi was pretty manipulative, you know. There have been a couple specific instances where I've felt like I couldn't survive without interacting with a certain person. I've been involved with some pretty manipulative people who have told me the same thought, that I can't live without them. My problem is I cannot be manipulative and diplomatic. And to survive on a show like BB, you have to be very smart. I cannot put so much pressure on my mind. It will be a mental pressure on me. I do think there are some actors that can get away with trying to be funny, and they're still funny because they're just likable, and you want to see them. Me, though, when you see me trying to be funny, it's like the worst thing in the world. It's needy, it's cloying, it's manipulative, it's bad. It is my drawback that I am not manipulative and this trait doesn't work in the industry. People in the industry are very manipulative. For me, I will say it if I don't like, and I don't know how to butter people. Even Salman Khan is like that, he is very straightforward and not manipulative at all. The BBC is very aware of its role in shaping people's consciousness, it's manipulative and deeply political. I'm very manipulative towards directors. My theory is that everyone on the set is directing the film, we're all receiving art messages from the universe on how we should do the film. We Northeasterners are less manipulative and less complex and people living there are much happier than the rest of the country. I am not a manipulative person. I'm not naturally manipulative. Management is the set of skills that can help get things done. Unfortunately, its practice is too often a bag of manipulative tricks to advance someone's own interests, which creates cynicism. I've done a lot of movies that don't have any music in them, and I've always sort of had a kind of wary attitude about music because it can be so manipulative, and also because with pop music, I feel like everybody kind of has their own relationship to songs. I was asked once if I ever got tired of playing bimbos, and I answered that I've never played a bimbo. I've always played smart, manipulative women. Marilyn Monroe and Judy Holliday, who were not stupid, could play stupid really well, but I don't do it well. My first sales assessment, they tell you your strong points, and they told me I was the emotional salesman, the one who could really connect with people by making them feel comfortable. Once someone told me that, I couldn't get past how manipulative it made me feel. Tactics are manipulative. A complete woman is probably not a very admirable creature. She is manipulative, uses other people to get her own way, and works within whatever system she is in. I've been saying it at all our Senate Democratic retreats, we need to speak to the heart, not in a manipulative way, not in a way that brings forth everybody's fears and resentments, but truly to speak to the heart so that people know that we're actually on their side. My father was a mean, controlling and manipulative person for most of his life. He was unpredictable and unstable. Let me get you to understand I don't bully anybody. I stand up for what I believe in and I'm very honest and I always tell the truth. I'm not a liar, I'm not manipulative and I don't stab you in your back because I will stab you in your chest. I'm not trying to be coy or manipulative or Machiavellian, I want to spark people's imaginations. Evil or manipulative people don't need a book, they just do it anyway. My father was a mean, controlling and manipulative person for most of his life. He was unpredictable and unstable. As a result, the atmosphere of our home was supercharged with fear because you never knew if what you did would make him mad or not. Condemning art as manipulative is a non sequitur, of course. All art is manipulative. I was a little worried that young people would think the only game was being political and manipulative when really the bigger game is being so good at what you do that nobody can argue with your results. I've been trying to take this journey over the last 4 years of getting away from playing manipulative and villainous characters and playing characters that are affected by what happens to them as opposed to unaffected. Siddharth Shukla is very manipulative. It isn't those of us who oppose American aggression in the Muslim world who need manipulative, exploitative reminders about 9/11. It's those who cheer for these policies who are making a follow-up attack ever more likely. Her beauty didn't do her any good and she couldn't use it in any positive way or manipulative way. I just hope that people will look and see and believe in that hope of love, that hope of freedom, even if it was just for a limited time. With me, personal relationships are like my religion. I care that deeply about them. I am the complete opposite of a manipulative smoothie. It doesn't make me feel good to be conniving and manipulative. I can't do that. Every director knows it is his job to be manipulative. When you make an edit, you are trying to manipulate. The thing with Disney songs is they're very manipulative, very sentimental, but they do get you, you know, there's a kind of sadness to them and that kind of music doesn't really exist anymore. Most of the books and films I love walk a knife edge between romance and cynicism, and I wanted, one day, to stay on that line. I wanted it to be moving, but without being manipulative. My education was dominated by modernist thinkers and artists who taught me that the supreme imperative was courage to face the awful truth, to scorn the soft-minded optimism of religious and secular romantics as well as the corrupt optimism of governments, advertisers, and mechanistic or manipulative revolutionaries. If we want to prevent another Cambridge Analytica from happening, that starts with regulating big tech beyond just data protection issues, but also looking at whether or not we want as a society to tolerate manipulative design. Any time you're trying to do a movie with a happy ending, it's very difficult because it's been done before and you don't want to be manipulative. For me, what works well about Life in a Day is that it's emotionally affecting without being manipulative. It really does make you think about the connectivity of the world, the similarities and differences. It shows the experiences we all go through: birth, childhood, falling in love, having kids, getting ill, dying. This is not the story of Elektra from the comics. We're telling the story of Daredevil. In this aspect, the storylines accentuate the sociopathic tendencies in her. The writers wanted to highlight that Elektra is quite manipulative and doesn't seem to have a conscience. Iago is one of the most liked characters in Shakespeare's canon, and he's the most evil, most extraordinarily manipulative person in history. He says the worst, most politically incorrect things, even for the time the play is set in, and yet audiences adore that character. I have no doubt that the Congress is active in manipulative politics. When I began my work on how morality varies across the political spectrum, there was a partisan, manipulative element to it. I wanted to help the Democrats win. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.